Hi friends! Welcome back. This is Flosstube 57. My name is Candace, and this is my channel about cross stitch. Sometimes we throw in some quilting or knitting. That is not the case today. Just some cross stitch, and not really a ton, but we have July plans because today is the last day of June. So bring on July. I know there are a lot of people doing Jolly July or Christmas in July. I'm kind of into the Christmas/winter in July, especially because our weather has been disgusting this last week. It's been ridiculously humid. If you live in a humid climate, you know what I'm talking about when I say the humidity is like swimming when you walk outside. If you're in a drier climate, congratulations, because this sucks. It's terrible. We've had a lot of thunderstorms. We've had a couple tornado watches, one tornado warning, which freaked my kids out big time because generally we downplay, a lot of the watches that come through, just because my oldest gets very anxious about stuff he doesn't understand. And so we had a tornado warning the other night and he was very freaked out. So thankfully I had Snapchat on my phone and we played with the filters and took pictures and sent them to my sister-in-law. And the warning only lasted for, I want to say it was maybe like 30 minutes. I do believe there were tornadoes sighted south of us, but we were just fine. So we just sat down here and played around with Snapchat. So hopefully everyone had a good week. Really, just been hanging out with my kids and then working. It's been kind of a boring week. But we might as well move on into the cross stitch because I had a finish. Yay! So I am definitely in the mode of wanting to finish a ton of my whips. I don't want to have this many whips hanging out right now. I want to be able to start something when I want to start it and stitch on it until it's done. I mean, throwing things in here and there, but having a ton of whips is just not really for me. So I went ahead and finished up Hands on Design, Cuppa. Now, you'll notice if you look closely, there's back stitching around the letters. I am not doing that. I think this looks great. I don't know why my dog's barking. I think it looks great without. My guess, there's somebody walking outside. He gets a little excited. So anyway, this is Cuppa. I'm not doing the back stitching, but I'm excited that this one is done. And the only thing I had left since you guys last saw it was the two teal lines and that bottom set of words. That was it. That's all I had left. So I got this done. This is on a 28 count Jobelin. I think it's lamb's wool. But now what I'm going to do is just finish this on a piece of sticky board or mat board, just, a nice square. And then I'm going to mount it on, I have a bunch of these little square boards that I found on clearance, different places like Joann's, Big Lots, Meijer, Walmart, wherever. But I'm going to do that and then hang it on the wall above my husband's coffee area. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm a tea drinker. But I thought that was cute. So Cuppa is done. So that's one whip finished. And I do have a couple other ones that are really super close. So I will say, I made a decision, if you guys saw my Instagram post on quarantine cats. So I did work on it. Here is what it looks like. This floor is very slick, so I don't want all my whips to go sliding down. So here's where it was before, as opposed to where it is right now. So I've got a little over 3,000 stitches total on this project. And I decided to let it go. I'm not loving it. The more I look at the chart, the more I think it's just really dark, and it's not been fun to stitch. Like, I don't even think getting through the confetti and the curtains is going to change anything for the rest of the chart. So I decided to let it go. And I got a message from Tiffany, who I met at StitchCon. She was willing to adopt my whip. And I am more than happy to let her do that. So I am sending this off today. I'm going to take it off the scroll rod, fold it up. Yeah, I don't have any loose threads hanging, and I'm going to send it her way. And then I'm going to try and help her out as to what has been done so that she can mark those off on Pattern Keeper. Because if you see this today on June 30th, wait, no, never mind. The sale ended yesterday. Heaven and Earth Designs had a half-off sale and ended yesterday. But if you're a Heaven and Earth Design stitcher, you probably already knew that. So these little over 3,000 stitches are headed to Tiffany, and this is going to become her whip. So I'm excited to send this off to her. Because really, I was just going to pick out what few stitches were kind of like over in this area, and then I was just going to cut it off and use it for something else. But now, Tiffany's going to do it. Hooray! So even though I did get quite a bit of work done on it this week, it's not bringing me joy, so it's time for it to go. This is driving me nuts right here. Thank you, humidity. Love it. I mean, it's just like, I can blow dry, I can straighten, and then the humidity does what it wants with my hair. So, okay. So lots of work on Quarantine Cats this week, but I also did lots of work on Hello Dear. So this is what Hello Dear looks like. It's from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'm doing this on I believe it's a 28 count Lugana. It might be 32. No, I think it's 28. Here's where I was last time. And there's where I am now. I have almost the entire top of the tree done. Yay! So I have gotten a lot of stitching done on this in the past couple of days. Because I want to have it done. I like these trees. I will not be buying spring and summer. Like, I'm not that in love with them. So I do have just a few more decals right here. Trunk of the tree, deer, presents. And then this one will be finished. So, I do have the Hello Pumpkin, which is the autumn tree. And I probably will do that one eventually. Not right now, though. Not right now. My chair keeps hitting these. There, maybe that'll help. Not be quite so annoying. Okay. So then I also worked on, oh no, wait, I had another finish. I forgot. There's a finish and a whip on this one. So, let me get these charts out here. I finished Antique Locks and Keys. This is from Shakespeare's Peddler. And I used 3 colors of color and cotton on a 32 count Lugana. And there's my finish. I love it. I worked on this a lot like in the airport when we were going to Legoland. Just a key or two here and there, and it was done. So I am using 3 colors of Color and Cotton. Let me get them out so I can show you. And I'm going to use the same 3 colors on all 3 of the charts that I have. So I also have Antique Cups and Spoons and Antique Scissors and Spools. That was the other one. So these are the other 2 I have. And I am using, now where's my, oh, there it is. My bag's kind of a mess. So Bronze, Dusty Blue, and Chimney Sweep. These are the 3 colors I'm using. Obviously, I used quite a bit of this one on the first one. But one of the, so this whole piece of fabric is going to hold all 3. The other one I worked on was Antique Cups and Spoons. So before, all I had was about half of this cup. So I finished the cup and I did 2 of the spoons. Not really calling that a spoon. It's more like a honey dipper thing. So I've not started scissors yet, but I got a little bit done on Antique Cups and Spoons. So, and then that way I'm going to finish them all. I probably won't do pillows. I don't know. I might do pillows. I mean, really, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I'm not a fully finisher. I should be, but I'm not. So I pulled this whip out yesterday because I feel like I forgot one. This is what it looks like. I do not have, oh wait. I can show you. I made a copy of it out of the book so that I didn't have to haul the book around with me. This is Vani and Camille, the Shine On Cross Stitch sampler. And this is in the Vani and Camille Quilt Bee book. This is their newest book. I'm doing this 1/2 on 40 count. Just white 40 count. Here's where I was before. And there's where I am now. I tell you what, this thing is a lot of stitching. But I like it, and it's one of those I feel like I can just pick up and stitch on whenever I want something, you know, simple, solid colors. Because even though there are 2 different colors in this, it's easy to move on to the next area in that same color. So there's where it is. Obviously the stitch along is done. A lot of people have finished theirs. I am not one of those. That's okay. That's okay. And I'm keeping this in the bag I won from the brass button. I just love this. I love this bag. Let's see, what was this one? Oh yeah. Okay, so that's all the whips. I did work on Spring Awakening one day, but it was just a tiny little bit. And I forgot to bring it down here because it's still on my Case Creation stand upstairs. It's 2 weeks in a row I forgot to bring a whip down. Oh no, I worked on one more. So this is Christmas Pixie by Reuben McHugh. This is on Charting Creations website. It is a full coverage piece that you can find on Charting Creations. I love Reuben McHugh's artwork. I have 3 of his charts. I purchased this one and automatically went back and purchased these other 2 because I was afraid they would disappear and I wouldn't get them. So here's where I was last time. Let's get it the right way. And there's where I am now. So I got a lot of the flower done. I am missing one color in the flower and I did not realize it. It is a very, very, very light silver color. So I need to grab that. But I'm working on the flower, the berries, and the leaf that are right there. And yes, this one has a ton of $37.99 as the background. So $37.99 goes around the outside of the background, and then behind the Christmas pixie is teal. And in that teal, there are, if you can see, let me see if I can get my arm in there. Like right here, I don't even know if you can see it. There's tiny little gray spots. Those end up, like there's 4, 6 stitches. It just depends on where it's at. They end up being like tiny little, almost like snowflakes or sparkles in that teal background. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do all those in an area. Dogs again. My kids are doing a great job watching the dogs. Do all those in an area, then fill in the teal. You know, do all the little sparkly type things, then fill in the teal. So, yeah, I love this one. And this is going to be my focus for Semi-Sane Stitchers for July. This is going to be my Christmas in July full coverage focus. Because I only have one Christmas full coverage piece. And it's this one. Okay, so there's all the whips. Whip Go numbers were called. I'm very thrilled about Whip Go numbers. Because one of them was Magic Study. And you'll recall this is what Magic Study looks like. Eep. This is where I'm at right now. And my goal for this, for Whip Go, is to do 21 and 21. So 21,000 stitches for this year. Right now I'm at 15,087 stitches. So I only have about 6,000 stitches to go. No problem. I still have 6 months to get 6,000 stitches in this. Yes. Because I'll likely focus on this one again. Maybe August. Especially because that's the month my kids go back to school. So things will start to get back to normal. So I'll probably focus on that in August. And then my other one is Christmas Rules from Lizzie Kate. This is what that chart looks like. So there's like a banner, and then each of these cards has 2 of the little lines. So there's that one, and then this one on this card. So my goal is to get the banner, the top part, and 2 of these. So that would be 4 charts, 4 little rows. And here's where it is right now. And let me see if I can find what fabric this is on. .32 count platinum Lugana. So here's where it's at right now. So I almost have the top border done. I need to fill in behind that E. I need to finish the snow. And then I believe there's a tree over here, right? Yeah. There's a Christmas tree right there. So then the top banner will be done. And then I'll do 4 of the rules. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my goal for the year. So this is definitely a feasible Whip Go goal met for this month. And it helps because I was going to do like Christmas in July anyway. So, hello, Christmas. And I think the other whip I'm going to focus on is my Christmas sampler that I showed you guys last week from Court Ebadicor. I think I'm going to work on that one as well and get a lot of the motifs done. So that way for the rest of the year, it's just some letters here and there that I need to fill in. And then I have one other. Do I have another Christmas piece? I don't think so. But if I do find one in my whips, so here's the deal. Next week, I'm going to do a mid-year whip parade. That will help me out, because if I find another Christmas or winter whip that I want to work on, I know I have Kathy Haberman's hands-on design, Let's Talk Winter, that is a whip. So I could totally work on that. And we're not going anywhere this month. We don't have any plans for this month or for August. We just booked our trip for September for Mexico for our anniversary. I'm very excited. We're going back to the same all-inclusive resort we went to in 2019. So my husband and I are super excited. Which means also, since I have nothing going on the next 2 months, I am going to do a bunch more destashing on Willow Spring Co. You can find the link for that Instagram account down below. But a lot of fabric and a lot of yarn is going to be headed out. And possibly some cross-stitch charts. We'll see. I need to go through those. But I just, I noticed that I love stitching right now. And why hold on to fabric that could make someone else super happy? So, okay. So those are the Christmas ones. Now I'm going to do a new start. Well, actually, I don't need to pull it out. I can show you. So since I'm getting rid of Quarantine Cats, not getting rid of, I'm rehoming it. I am going to start Mini Home for the Winter. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs chart. I love it. I love it. And I was watching, it's funny because I decided what I was going to do is I have this piece of 28 count Monaco, and I don't enjoy stitching on Monaco anymore. It's just too thick. I always end up poking my finger no matter what size needle I use, trying to get through the fabric, and so I thought this would work great for full coverage. Mini Home for the Winter. So I think I'm going to use this on a 28 count 1/1. Mini Home for the Winter will end up being about 10 inches by 10 inches. So what I did is I took a friction pen and I did the little grid dots, and I kind of want to see, I'm probably going to end up buying a fabric pen because I'm afraid that the heat from my hands will make my dots go away. And then that's not going to help. But last night when I was at work, I was multitasking. I was working and watching Vani from Thread the Needle here on YouTube. And she had some tutorials on diagonal cross-country stitching. And I thought, I've never tried diagonal stitching. I've always just kind of been a wherever the thread takes me. But unless I want to grid this thing with sulky thread, which would be really hard on 28 count, I'm going to make the dots, I think, and I'm going to try the diagonal stitching. If I don't like it, I can always change to something else. So I figure I'll do the dots for an entire page plus a row like she does. And then I'm going to start up there in the top left. Just work my way down. So the reason I picked this fabric also is because there's a lot of white in Mini Home for the Holidays, or Home for the Winter. And I didn't want to use gridded fabric and have those grid lines not come out all the way behind all of that white stitching. So I figured this was a better option. So I'm all prepped and ready to go to start that tomorrow. And what I did is I took all of the floss that appears in this chart from Mini Quarantine Cats, left that in the case, put everything else away, made a list of what I needed to buy, and it just so happens that my Joann's, so probably, I don't know if it's all Joann's throughout the country, or if it's just our area of the Midwest, but DMC Sale, July 1st through the 4th. Too low to show. So likely in my area, it'll be like 45 cents. Or, what do they do? 5 for $2, I think is what it's been the last couple of times. So I'm going to finish kitting this up. I'm going to go tomorrow because not like a ton of people cross stitch in this area. We don't have any of the new colors, but none of the new colors are used in this chart. So the first color that is used in numerical order is 167. So they should, excuse me, they should have the majority of colors I need for this. Then on July 5th, so I guess we're kind of in plans. I didn't really mention it, but we're kind of in plans. July 5th, I am starting a stitch along with Laura, who was one of my table mates at StitchCon, and we are going to start Teresa Kogut's Fox and Friend. I just super love this, and I showed you guys before my fabric for this. This is Fiber on a Whim. It's called Parchment. So I'm going to find the perfect spot on this for this. I got my flosses, the called for hand-dyed flosses in the mail this week. And then I have the DMC in here. I am ready to go. And I also put this in my Lynn X Stitch bag that I got at StitchCon. So look, I still have the tag on it too. So this is all ready to go. So Laura and I are going to start this, and I checked. There is no hashtag for Fox and Friend Sal, S-A-L. So that's what we're going to use. So if you guys have this chart and you want to start, or you have it as a whip, or in 6 months down the road you get this chart and want to start, this is going to be an ongoing Sal for whenever. Like, who knows? Hopefully her and I will finish it quickly. But you never know. I have a whip. You know, my oldest whip was from 2019, I think, which is when I started stitching. No, maybe it's 2020. I don't know. We'll find out next week. So yeah, Fox and Friend Sal is going to be happening. We're starting that July 5th. It's perfect because it's just after the holiday weekend. Things are back to normal. We can start stitching. So, what else did I have for July? Oh, I would like to do Mill Hill Mondays because I have a bunch of these snow crystal ornament kits. I believe I have almost all of them. These are great. They come with the perforated paper and then all the beads, the charm, the floss. There's a needle in there. Here are a couple of the other ones. So I decided, I believe this one, 2301, is the first one. Now I'm not positive, but I decided to make it the first one. So this is the one that I'm going to work on. Also on July 5th. Because I really like these and I would love to have them done by Christmas. So I may do Mill Hill Monday for the rest of the year. Because I have... Here's the rest of them. I have... We'll just go through this now. So this one is Aqua Crystal. That's the one I'm going to start. Then I have Ice Crystal. Sapphire Crystal. Star Crystal. Gold Crystal. Amethyst Crystal, which is gorgeous. And then I also have these snowflakes from Mill Hill that are called Beaded Holiday. So this is Crystal Snowflake, Golden Snowflake, Opal Ice Snowflake, Victorian Snowflake, Aqua Mist Snowflake, and Pearl Snowflake. So the funny thing is, I had accidentally, not all of these, but I don't know where I put them. They're around here somewhere. I'll have to find them. I had accidentally purchased a duplicate set. I don't know if it was the snowflakes or if it was the crystals, but I had a duplicate set. So I may put those up on Etsy just as a pack, like all of the duplicates that I accidentally bought, and just, you know, so that someone else can stitch those. So I have all of these that I would like to get done. These back up here so I can save. So this will be my first one. Let's see. I bought, we might as well move, I mean, this Flosstube is random anyway, so I think that's all my plans for July. I can't, we are going to my mother-in-law's this weekend. If I can manage to get Friday off, we're going to leave on Friday. My sister-in-law had surgery yesterday, so we're going to help distract her so she stays on her butt. But I went ahead and purchased 2 charts during the Heaven and Earth Design Sale. If I can get to the right spot. Never fails. You would think I would have been prepared. So, the first one I got, because I've been watching everybody else stitch it, and seeing it in person, Laura is stitching it. Seeing it in person, I bought Mini Sunflower Cottage. I had to. It's so cute. The other one I purchased is Mini Wishing Tree. Now, I've watched Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff stitch on her piece called In This Moment by the same designer. And I love this one. It's so pretty. And originally I was going to get the Quick Stitch Owl, which is this guy right here. There's a Quick Stitch of just him. But then I saw the Quick Stitch of the guy over there in the middle. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Let me check out the whole chart. So I did go for the mini because I have enough regular size charts. So I went for the mini. Because really it's the process for me. These are not pieces that I'm going to frame and hang in a prominent place in my house. These are pieces I stitch because I enjoy stitching them. So, so I only got 2 charts. I was very good. And I had a hard time deciding between Mini Home for the Winter and Mini Merry and Bright. But I may just go ahead and start this one in December. We'll see. But I really wanted to do Mini Home for Winter, so. So I got those 2. And then, let me get this out of the way. I got my threads from, I'm in the Threads Entwined club. So I got my flosses. And so we've got Mossy, Mulled Berries, Morning Glory, Milady's Tea, Hazelnut, Meadow Green, Mudley Puddle, Marvelous, Cherry Cobbler, and Mint Julep. Now I realized I have a lot of Classic Colorworks. That's just Classic Colorworks. I have a ton of Color and Cotton. I have a ton of Weeks Dye Works. I'm getting a nice little collection of General Arts. So, I went ahead, and if you're looking for openings for Fat Quarter Shop's clubs, there's one for the Weeks Dye Works Club, and there's one for the Classic Color Works Club. So I'm going to keep my Color and Cotton one because I only get 3 of those every month. I think I'm going to do 1 more month of Threads Entwined, and then I think I'm going to cancel that one because I have a lot of Classic Color Works. I have a lot. And I do use it, you know, I'll substitute in charts, but it's a lot. So I think for now I'm just going to probably take a pause on those ones, except for Color and Cotton. I'll keep that one. Because I have so many. I mean, that was the whole point with, you know, the fabric and the yarn destash, is that I have so much, I'm not ever going to be able to use it all. Okay, so I also got, I forgot to pick this up in the annex when I was at StitchCon. So this is Hands on Design. Let's Talk Summer. And I'm super excited about this. I have no idea what color fabric I'm going to use yet. But I will do the same thing that I've done with all the other charts, and I will use hand-dyed floss for the colors. And then either B5200 or 3865, depending on what color fabric I use. Or Blanc. One of the two. So, I really like this one, though. But this one will be easy to change the colors around. I mean, obviously the blue has to stay because splash. But it'll be easy to, you know, alter the colors in the banner a little bit. So, I ordered, so Fat Quarter Shop has a cross-stitch newsletter now. And I signed up just so that I could, you know, possibly get coupons. And lo and behold, they sent a coupon for fabric. So I got some cross-stitch fabric. Now, I did these because I'm planning on dyeing them. But there's a 20 count. I have never tried 20 count Aida. So I got white 20 count Aida. And then, oh, never mind. I lied. I got 2 of them. So this way, maybe I can stitch on the white for something and then dye this one. Which will probably change the count just a little bit, but that's fine. I got, sorry, I apologize for the plastic. But I didn't want my cats laying all over it before I can get it put away. This is Picture This Plus 28 count Lugana in Dapple. So this is a great neutral gray for pretty much anything. And then I got Fiber on a Whim. It's a linen, guys. 28 count Kesha linen in cream and sugar. So I wanted to try a linen, and I liked the way that Fiber on a Whim's linen felt when I was in the annex at StitchCon. So this is a super nice neutral linen. It's just, it has a little more like thickness, structure to it. It's not quite so super flimsy, and you know, so I'm excited to try this. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, but we'll see. So that was it for the cross stitch stuff. I did get my Sweetwater label for this month. Not my favorite, but it's cute. So this is from the tagged club for Sweetwater labels. That's what it looks like. I get 1 of those a month, but I can reorder anything that I've received in a club. As long as you subscribe to the club, you can reorder previous club tags. I got my Jolly Bar. Yay! This is Pumpkins and Blossoms. This is her kind of like Halloween fall type collection. And I know I showed that I got a layer cake last time, but I mean, just look at those colors. They're, I mean, I can't really show you, but they're so So pretty. So I got that. And then I got my Meso sampler box, which we've been waiting on because apparently they were waiting on one item from a distributor that was taking forever. So the May and June are going to come really close together. So I got the May one. And this one was called Fresh Cut. Now, this is the last thing I have. So if you ordered this box and have not gotten it yet, you can be done. But if you'd like to see what's inside, it's Fresh Cut. So we got, I'm really interested in this. This is a Steady Betty bridge. This goes over the very front part of your sewing machine. Let me see if I can pull out this little thing so you can see exactly where it goes. So it goes over the very front part of your machine. So that little lip between the metal won't, like if you have your seams in the back, sometimes they'll hit that little metal lip and they'll fold under, and then you'll have like a little folded seam in the back. So this makes everything nice and smooth on your machine. So I'm excited to try it out. If I can get this back in there. And it does say that it's not for use on painted machines or ones that have decorative stenciling. Mine's not. Mine's straight up white metal machine. We got these scissors. Now, these are for snipping. You can see the little hook there. They're for snipping seams. This is the one thing in the kit that everyone's complained about, because they're not smooth. Like, they're really a little bit hard to open. It's like it's not oiled well enough, or something's not ground down enough on it, and it's like sticking. I don't know. So we got some Sew Tights. These are Tulip Pink hearts. These are magnets. So yes, I could use these as, oh, you can't see the magnet inside. But I could use these as a needle minder. But these are great for holding pieces together too. Here's the pattern that we got. I think it's adorable. And then it looks like this is going to make a lap quilt. If I wanted to make a queen size quilt, I would just need a jelly roll. This is a roly-poly, so it's a smaller jelly roll. And there's the fabric, Joy in the Journey. I will just make a lap one out of this. I've seen the collection and it's super cute, but I'm probably not going to order, you know, like a whole fat quarter bundle of it. So what I need to purchase to make the rest of this quilt is background fabric, some brown, which I may have, and I only need 3/4 yard of brown for the little stems that are on these leaves. And then the borders are in that mint check. I think I have something I could probably use. I only need 7/8 yard. And then the binding is also in that brown. I could find something else. And then 3 1/4 yards for backing. So this easily doable. All the instructions are in here. This is super cute. I can see my kids stealing it. And then let me see how I can cover this. We got the second block for the Bright Side quilt for Sherry McConnell. So I like it. I mean, overall, oh, and this is just called the Leaves quilt pattern. Overall, I'm very happy with this box. Could they have done something different? Absolutely. Fat Quarter Shop has a ton of awesome scissors on their website. Like, why these? I don't know. But I'm excited. I am excited. Oh, one more thing. There is a whip that I'm going to show next week that I am UFOing. So, I actually already stole the fabric. That's the fabric I'm using for home for the winter. So I will show that next week, and I believe I am going to possibly give away those charts. Because it's a series of charts. Because we all know when you first start stitching, you buy all the things you think you love, and then your tastes change rather quickly. A lot of stuff like that. So, yeah. So that's all I have for this week. That's it. So if you get a chance and you're a full coverage stitcher, go check out Vani over at Thread the Needle. And who else was I watching the other day that I was like, why doesn't this person have followers? Or, you know, why hasn't this person, like, jumped up in followers? Crystal Rowe is one of them. She's still at 8 something, and I don't understand. She does Stitch With Me's, I think, twice a week right now. There's Laura, the Colorful Stitcher. She is across the pond, I guess we could say. She does full coverage. Obviously, Darcy does full coverage. Who else have I been watching that was doing full coverage? I need to make a list. That's what I need to do. So I will do that. This week, while I am watching my Flosstube, I will make a list of all the people that I can think of. Because it's really fun watching people's full coverage journey. Obviously, all cross-stitch journeys are fun to watch because I watch a ton of you out there. But so that's all I have for this week. I'm going to clean up my mess. I'm going to check on my kids. They probably want lunch. I have to work tonight. So let's hope I don't get rained on again like I did last night. Forgot to take my umbrella into work, and it was raining when I got out. Boo. So I will see you guys next week on Wednesday for a mid-year whip parade. All right. Bye, guys.